Good morning. Hey there, beautiful. Today is January 22nd, 2025. It's been a while since I did a video, a long form video, but today is one of those days that I'll always remember, one of those dates, because the 22nd of January is what I consider my Independence Day in a lot of ways. It was the first day, I believe, I started posting videos like this 2 years ago. Can you believe it? It's been 2 years since I shared my first video about my life, about what I was experiencing and what was going on. My whole heartbreak and emotions coming out of a relationship. And it's been, last year was a big year for me in a lot of ways. I expanded my knowledge and my understanding of myself, and I think the world around me and all of you in big ways. Last year, I spent most of it intentionally single. And I did this because I wanted to make a commitment to making myself and my love for myself my first priority, so that I could feel like I actually committed to overcoming codependency. And I felt like it just takes a lot of time of being alone with myself to do that. Because even now, when I start to get close to others, I can feel some of those tendencies coming back. And if you're a child of complex trauma and someone who's been codependent or been in toxic relationships or experienced trauma bonds, it's something I would recommend is taking as much time to invest in yourself and make yourself your first priority. And that's worked wonders for me, even though there's been times where I've been like very anxious and seeking that kind of like attachment, that kind of relationship of wanting somebody to be by my side, right? To comfort me, to love on me, to nurture me. But and it's okay. It's okay to do that in certain times, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But getting to a point where I wasn't so dependent on it and wasn't ready to abandon myself and fall back into old patterns that haven't served me. I think I've gotten better at working with others through their own problems and their own suffering. I've continued to get better with meeting people with where they're at, with getting a better balance between just listening and being present and allowing others to find their own answers versus my natural tendency to intervene or inject my own learnings. That's the crusader in me, always wanting to help others shorten their adventure or stem their pain, when I've learned it's necessary for everyone to experience their own pain in their own way. And if we try to jump in and take that away, we're really not doing them a service. So, what else? This past week was a major event. My older brother last Monday, took his own life, and gosh, all the emotions and all the stuff that came up as a result of it were intense, were extreme, and came up one after another, and not just for myself, but for all of my family and for his friends and his fiance, and it was a challenge, but I've learned some things from it. I've talked a lot and shared with you a lot of my learnings and my insights when it comes to letting go, when it comes to releasing. And these are great and amazing practices to develop, and skills. But this week, it taught me to go a little bit deeper and venture into a territory that I often forget, and that was surrender. And for me, this just means a deeper experience in a way. It's not about defeat. It's not about giving up. For me, it came to be about allowing life to be, and accepting life for what it is and what comes from it, and turning back to that faith and that trust that I've been building within myself and with the world around me, and the Creator, and becoming at ease with it. And it's not easy by any means, but it's gotten easier by doing the work I've done, by focusing what I have been focusing on, and I think by working with others. All I share with you guys, all I express through these videos and putting this stuff out there, it's funny, I've learned a lot of it is not necessarily meant for your ears. A lot of it are meant for my own in a lot of ways. I've recently kind of I don't know how to say it. I've remembered that this is all about forcing myself to expand, forcing myself to get out of my comfort zone, get out there and put myself out there. And I've found the best way to learn anything is by teaching it, and by sharing it, And by doing this, I find that I don't know, it just brings a whole different level of understanding to whatever it is, whether that be, sales, whether that be real estate, whether that be, emotions and coaching and all of that kind of stuff. Whatever it is, if you jump into teaching it, for myself, it just makes it more serious for me, makes me give it a more of a commitment. And that's what this is partly what I'm doing. So don't take anything I say as the absolute law or truth. It's just how I see it right now when I'm sharing it with you, and that can change with time. And I'm constantly evolving. There's been so many different versions of myself in the past that I've realized, and maybe you have too. So don't be afraid to surrender. Don't be afraid to jump into teaching something that you absolutely know nothing about. I don't know what else to share this morning, other than, I'm happy and I'm content more often than I've ever been, and seeing the world in a whole different way, with a different set of eyes. And some of the big things that I've recently been sharing are some truths that I'll recap with you here today, and I shared actually yesterday in my eulogy for my brother. And here's a couple for you. The first one is that you are absolutely perfect, and you've always been, and to believe anything else is an outright lie. This world happens for us, not to us. And we can make this heaven on earth like it truly is if we choose to see it as such and live it as such. Everything happens for a reason and exactly the way it was meant to happen, because it did. We can't go back and change the past. We can't go back and change our decisions, our attitudes, our choices. But we can change our stories about the past. We can abandon the lies. We can shift our perception about what happened. We can make it serve us. We can embrace it for the experience that it was, that helped us to grow and expand. Because life will always bring to us exactly what we need to reveal more about ourselves, to learn more about ourselves, to force us to venture in, to face the fears that we never want to for whatever reason. To go there, to explore it, to expand, to grow. Life will make this happen for us one way or another, gradually or kicking and screaming. It will force this upon us. These truths I've shared with people over the last month or two, and once we come to embrace these, I've seen tremendous relief in those I'm working with, and experienced it in myself as well in a big way. It's just, I think it's part of the secret sauce, and maybe it can help you too. So I'm looking forward to what this new year has to offer me, and I'm looking forward to going to places I haven't been within myself and outside myself, and meeting new people, and sharing, right? One of the big things I've come to realize is how important it is to break the habit, and I had this habit for so long, of closing, of restricting my heart, of building walls, which is funny because I'm a Mason and by name, and gosh, I had this skill of building walls around myself, these layers of walls to keep people out, because I was so afraid. And I've learned to stop doing that, to see when I'm starting to mix the mortar and gather the bricks, and remind myself that isn't necessary. I've learned to see when that stuff comes up and realize that it's always a part of me inside. It's always an older version of myself that needs my love and my warmth, my compassion and understanding. And it's always an inner part of me that I've abandoned or lost connection with. And when I see this and allow myself to embrace myself and those parts of me, it just gives me this strength to continue, this feeling of like I'm onto something, like, I don't know, this self-esteem, this whole different version of me. And by doing this, I can do the same with others. You know, growing up, the ability to nurture, I didn't see that. That wasn't modeled for me, and it's a skill. It's something that I never developed till this past year and a half, and I've seen that, and it's affected those around me. It's affected those I was in romantic relationships with. It's affected my children, my parents, my friends, you name it. But by finding this ability once more and expanding on it and practicing it and just cultivating it within myself, I'm now better at it and more able to do it with others. And then there's the side of like the shadows, right? The shadow sides of ourselves. I've learned that this is like huge. There are parts of me that are just out there, extreme. And I've done some crazy shit in the past. I've done so much. I've been a sinner in so many ways. I've done things and been in places and situations that would make your stomach turn. And I can be real, and I can be honest about that and open about that, and that's taken a lot. But embracing this side of myself, that shadow sides of myself, and learning to accept those parts of me, and start to integrate them into myself, and feel whole, and show those parts of me that I accept them and I love them, has just given me this whole different sense of energy and boldness and creativity, and allowed me to connect with those little kids that just make me feel alive within me, that make me want to explore more and take more chances. And so don't be afraid to go and visit your shadows and those parts of yourself that other people have told you were wrong or defective or ugly or crazy or freaky or whatever it may be. Don't buy it from others. I've spoke of letting parts die, but I don't believe that anymore, at least not right now. It's not about letting it die. It's about seeing them and accepting them and embracing them and loving them and giving them all the support they need. Every version of yourself in the past, every version of yourself in the future. Because by doing this, we open ourselves to the gifts that each version of us, each iteration of us has to share with us. By ignoring them and abandoning them and shutting them down and shutting them up or off it's not the way I see it anymore. Maybe that'll change, but who knows? I'm out here in the blanket because it freaking snowed in Florida last night. Snowed. Northern Florida, Pensacola, all of that snow. I saw a video of the Florida sign with snow all around it. How wild is that? How wild is that? No, in the loss of my brother this past week, I've learned to look for the positives and even the most painful experiences like that. Like, I was able to reconnect with family members and friends and acquaintances from my past that I hadn't in years, hadn't seen, hadn't known, haven't spent time with in years, and that's been beautiful. And my brother was a child of complex trauma. He was a troubled soul and had so much he was working through. And I never got the chance to personally reveal all that I share with you with him. I mean, I know he was watching my content, my videos. You can see some of his comments over the past 2 years, but I never really got past myself and fully forgave him for some of the harm, some of the pains I felt like he inflicted upon me. So that's something I had to come to terms with. I was, some guilt and some shame I had to overcome this past week and get to the bottom of, and realize it was just old stuff. It wasn't true. So that's my recap, my 2-year Independence Day recap on what's been going on with me and my life. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this, whenever you are watching this, whoever you are watching this. And I hope from the bottom of my heart, with all of my soul, that this helps you in some way. Because if I can help just one person not feel alone, not feel whatever my brother was experiencing in that moment when he took his own life, then I'll do it. And if any of you are ever feeling that way, don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I'll be here for you. Okay? I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Embrace it for what it is. Thanks again.